going to say it like I said to the kids. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is a privilege for me to be here today with you as we celebrate the completion and official open of our beautiful state-of-the-arts facility, West Park Elementary School. My name is Dr. Angela Wright, and I had the pleasure of being the principal at William Allen White since 2014 before moving to our new school, West Park. I had a perfect view. My office was right there, having that perfect view of the day-to-day construction process, a perfect view where I can see the day-to-day construction process of the school being built. As I looked out of my office window, I was heightened with anticipation and knowing that one day we will be moving in. Well, that day finally arrived, and my staff and I love the new building, and we know that our students will as well, our parents and our families. So we are happy that we are here, and we are happy that we are in our new building, and we cannot wait to receive our students once they come back in January for face-to-face instruction. Before we get started, please let me introduce a few of our guests who have joined us for this very special occasion. Please join me in welcoming all of our board members. I'm going to start with Mr. Randy Lopez, who is our board president. Our board vice president is Mrs. Wanda Page. Ms. Janie Humphreys. Ms. Maxine Drew. Dr. Stacy Yeager. Dr. Valdelia Wynn. And Yolanda Clark. Also, I want to recognize other dignitaries who are here. Janet Waugh, who is from the Kansas State Board of Education. Our Unified Governor County Administrator Doug Bach. Assistant County Administrator Melissa Sieben. The President and CEO of Kansas City, Kansas Chamber of Commerce, Daniel Silver. And again, you guys had the opportunity to meet my assistant principal, Dr. Melissa Hunter Boyce. Also joining us this morning are the past alumni of William Allen White who came out today. We appreciate your continued support as we transition into our new school. So if you are a teacher or a parent or a former student of William Allen White, can you please stand so we can recognize who you are? Okay. When I think about when we came back in July, the staff and I, we were so excited to kick off the new school year in our new building. Teachers could not wait. You know, when principals come back early, teachers were so excited. They were calling in July, when can I come in and prepare my classroom? Teachers were excited. They could not wait to decorate and prepare the classrooms for their students. Although the students are not here physically in the building, the teachers still enjoy coming in, teaching from their classrooms as they're doing remote learning. And the way their classrooms are set up, and hopefully you will get to see when you take the tour, you can see how teachers really care about our kids and how they really want our kids to be here. So they want that learning environment to be just like the kids sitting in the classroom, even though they're doing remote learning. We miss our students very much, and they often tell us how much they miss us. But we are ready and we are prepared to welcome them back to a safe and new learning environment that inspires academic excellence for generations to come. As we make this official transition into our new school today, we would be remiss if we didn't take a few moments to acknowledge the generations of students, their families, and teachers who passed through the classrooms and hallways at Parker Elementary and William Allen White Elementary Schools. Both schools served as an essential anchor to the families and community during that time. The memories of the positive student relationships that were established at each of these schools were fundamental to student success and will never be forgotten. I want to share with you a personal story. At the end of last year, I started receiving emails from this person named William Carpenter. William Carpenter was a first grade, he was an alumni of William Allen White. He sent me a picture of his first grade class that he took in 1960, and I will share it at one of the tables for you to see it. But he sent me the picture, and he said, Dr. Wright, with COVID going on, I know you guys may not be having an end of the year ceremony because we had to get out of school differently. But he said, William Allen White means a lot to me because my dad used to work for USD 500, and he was the one who created the letters for William Allen White, and he actually was the one who mounted them to the building. So he said, I'm going to ask you a serious question, and I really want you to be honest to let me know if this can happen. Is there any way that I can have those letters so I can keep the connection of my father who passed on, but to have a connection of his work and with me as a student of William Allen White? And he also asked me to take pictures of the building before they tore the building down. And so him and I developed a friendship, and so I keep him updated on what's going on with West Park. And he extended to me that they have a William Allen White Facebook page that students who were students in 59 and 1960, they are strong and they keep up with each other, and they always reminisce about the stories, the teachers, and the great learning that took place at William Allen White. Right now, I would like to introduce Chuck Boring, who is an alumni for William Allen White, and he will share with you some history of his time at William Allen White. Help me welcome Dr. Chuck Boring.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. It's an honor, and I know she was looking for someone that attended William Allen White. When she found me, she happened to stumble on somebody that attended both of the elementary schools that West Park is now replacing. So, briefly, I'm a graduate of Wyandotte High School in 1971. My post-secondary education, Associate of Science degree from Kansas City, Kansas Community College, bachelor's degree in chemistry, and a doctorate in dental surgery from UMKC in 1979. A 39-year career in dentistry before I retired in January of 2018. But it all began at Parker Elementary. We lived just a couple of blocks from Clam Park on 27th Street, and I attended Parker the first half of my kindergarten year. I'd like to share some memories about that, but I really don't have very many. Then we were in the process of relocating to 42nd Street, and that was partly driven by a residency requirement. At the time, my father was under Mr. Schlegel. He was the assistant superintendent of schools in Kansas City, Kansas. And at that time, 47th Street, just a couple of blocks from here, was the city limit. So 42nd was about as far to the west as we could go at the time. So I finished the second half of my kindergarten year at William Allen White. But at that time, William Allen White, the new building was not completed. And we were holding classes right behind us here in what was then West Junior High School. So my classmates and I can brag with accuracy that we were in junior high at the age of 5. We finished kindergarten there, and then the first half of my first grade year was also in the West Building, and then the new one was complete. So over the winter break, the district moved the desks and all the other large equipment over. And when we came back after the break, we went and picked up our personal effects, our tablets and pencils and crayons and whatever else was there, and followed our teacher across the parking lot to our brand new classroom. Those of you that are familiar with William Allen White know that a unique feature of it was part of the playground was covered by the building. As students, we thought that was really cool because we got to go out to recess in the rain when none of the other schools were able to do that. I do have a vivid memory while I was home at lunch in 5th grade. The news broke about President Kennedy's assassination. It was a strange afternoon when we came back to school. I remember the class sitting silently in bewilderment while our 5th grade teacher, Miss Gilbert, cried most of the afternoon. Another memory, I do see school crossing guards now at the busy streets. Back then that was handled by the 6th graders. They were called patrol boys, It was an honor to be chosen, and I was, and I had the intersection right up there on 43rd Street. So both in the morning and the afternoon, we were supposed to be the first one there. We rolled the stop sign out into the middle of the intersection, into the crosswalk, and we had a really cool orange sash with the badge on it. You know, it made us feel pretty important. But as the younger students came, when there was traffic, we'd put our arms out to hold them back, and then when it was clear, we'd let them go across. So that was fun. But I don't think that sixth graders are handling that responsibility anymore. So I do want to offer afterwards, if there are any questions, I will be here after the ceremony. If anyone has any questions, just look me up. I'll be glad to answer them one-on-one. And I want to close by saying that I have very mixed emotions. I'm excited for the students that get to start or continue their education in a brand new state-of-the-art facility. But when I look across the parking lot here and see that empty field, I can't help but express a little sadness that my beautiful new state-of-the-art facility exists no more. Time does march on. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bourne. I too have that bittersweet. When you work in a building and you're so connected with the staff and families and students, you do have that bittersweet. You're excited about the newness, but you're sad to see it go. And it went so fast. One weekend I would come up and I can see the building up, and the next minute it was gone. But I am excited about our new building, and it was needed. It was well needed. Let me share with you how West Park got their name. And I think Dr. Boyne touched based on this. When we knew that we were going to be getting a new school and we were merging first with Parker Elementary, we got together, Dr. Mathers then, who was our chief of staff, we got together with a committee of teachers, students, committee of parents and staff from both schools, from Parker and from William Allen White. We met about 4 or 5 times, and we had to come up with the name of the school, the mascot, and the school colors. Well, after we came up with a list of names, West Park was one of them. We wanted to make sure that we bring in the history of Parker Elementary and use West Park from Parker, and then we wanted to bring in the history of William Allen White and West, because like Dr. Boring said, William Allen White used to be West Elementary, then West Middle School, then William Allen White. And we knew that we were going to be being built on West grounds. So we wanted to keep that connection. So that's how we got the name West Park. The colors, Parker colors were red and black. William Allen White colors were blue and gold. So we just pulled colors from each school. And then the mascot, we had a list. But we didn't want to stop there. We didn't want to make all those decisions just from a group of parents and teachers from both schools. We wanted the voices of our students and then more of our parents. So the communication department, they created a survey, and we had both schools take the survey, including the students, to come up with the name. And so the students did come up with the name of West Park. Our colors are blue and red and gold, and our mascot is West Park Panthers. So that's where we got our name. We will continue to follow the program with remarks from David Alvey, the mayor and CEO of Unified Government of Wyandotte County in Kansas City, Kansas.
Thank you. I will be brief because I'm kind of cold myself. But I have to say, first of all, it's an honor always to come to a new school opening. And I have to give credit and thanks to the members of the board, to administration, to teachers, to alums, to the residents of Wyandotte County, the taxpayers of Wyandotte County really, who continue to show their commitment to the vision of what it means to raise good children. To always keep the needs of students, of young people in mind, because if we can focus in on what is good for children, then we will discover what is good for a community. If we can invest, if we can really bring to our young people the skills they need, the formation they need to become people who can manage their own affairs, contribute to the community, commit to the community as their parents have done, as their aunts and uncles, as their administrators, teachers do, if we can continue to focus on what it means to raise a young person to be that kind of young man or woman, then we will get to where we need to be throughout the community. And so the investment in this facility, the investment in other schools across the county by Kansas City, Kansas School District tells us that we're on the right path. We're doing what we need to do. And I can tell you from the perspective of being mayor, when we invest in our children, we are investing in families. When we invest in families, we invest in neighborhoods. When we invest in neighborhoods, we invest in the city. And for so long, Kansas City, Kansas was on a downward trajectory. There were people who had given up on us. People had said, it's not worth being there. Don't go there. It's crime dot. Well, what we're saying is that's all wrong. The truth of the matter is good people do good things here every day. And we have to continue to give good people opportunities to do good things. And as we do this, we're going to continue to grow. And we will have good citizens, good families, good neighbors, and a great city. So again, a thank you especially to all those who had any part in this, for the vision that you brought, the commitment that you brought, and the way that you engaged the community in bringing this to be. Because again, we know how hard it is for people to commit additional resources. But to be able to say we're willing to spend our tax money to do this is significant, and you're to be congratulated for doing that work, to saying we're going to do something great for our community. It's going to cost us, even though I know it was transfer the bonds over, it still comes down to the taxpayers. Thank you for doing that work, to the board members and administration. I would now like to invite Commissioner Townsend, Gail Townsend, to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. I am absolutely delighted to be here. I'm delighted, I'm cold, and I am gold in recognition of this wonderful new school. I didn't observe her stand when Dr. Wright called for dignitaries, but I would like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Cindy Lane. Through her hard work, foresight, and those of all the staff and everyone who worked at that time years ago for the district, this is one of the reasons we're here today. Thank you, Dr. Lane. Again, I'm delighted, cold and bold, to be joining you this morning to celebrate the official opening of this beautiful West Park Elementary School, which resides in Commission District 1, my district. As we all know, West Park was one of 5 new schools added to our community and neighborhoods. We have 2 new middle schools, Gloria Willis and Carl B. Bruce, and 3 elementary schools, Wellborn, Lowell Bruni, and of course, West Park, which is the reason we're here today. I would like to express my deepest appreciation to all of our teachers, school support staff, Principal Dr. Angela Wright, for all that you do in your efforts to keep our students and parents engaged during these challenging times with COVID-19. As educators, you are asked to do so much by conducting lessons, providing and assessing students' assignments, trying to keep them engaged online, and providing the much-needed support they require every day. Thank you again, educators, for what you're doing in these days and these times with what you have. School administrators, we appreciate your unwavering leadership and for doing what you can to take the necessary steps to protect the health and safety of your students and staff. You are focused, you are committed to ensuring that you are addressing the academic and social and emotional needs of our most vulnerable population, our students. Let us give our teachers, school staff, and administration for all their hard work a well-deserved round of applause. The mayor has already mentioned this. These new schools and improved learning spaces, playgrounds, and upgrades will provide a safe and enhanced opportunity for our students to learn. Therefore, again, I want to thank, as the mayor did, our residents for voting to pass the $235 million bond referendum for these 5 new schools and for the upgrades to 47 of our existing schools. This is another example of schools and community collaboration that nurtures our kids and builds strong, authentic community connections. More particularly on that note, I would like to thank the neighbors surrounding West Park, who for over a year had to withstand and did sustain the inconvenience of construction and disarray to their homes and infrastructure around, but they made a great trade-off for inconvenience to sacrifice for the progress of our kids. I also want to thank our parents for working with our schools and the school district as we all try to navigate through this pandemic of uncertainty. We will get through it. We must continue to respect one another. We must continue to use the unique talents that each of us has for the collective benefit of our kids and our community. Finally, I too would like to let Dr. Wright know of my connection to the former William Allen White and West Middle School. Back in the mid-90s, when I was taking care of my mother before she transitioned to a heavenly home, I was actually subbing. And these 2 schools were 2 of my favorites. That may also have something to do with the fact that 2 of my favorite nephews attended the school at the time. But Dr. Wright, with that connection, with my gold, despite the cold, I would like to let you know that I am available to you to be of any assistance that you think I might be able to help this school, its students, and administrators with that. So with that, I say thank you all. God bless Wyandotte County and West Park Middle School and all who will inhabit her. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, a little bit more spirit. I know we're cold, but let's wake up a little bit. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, that's better. Thank you. Of course, you know, this isn't the ideal situation that we wanted when we think about opening up a school, but I want to say thank you to everybody for being out here to celebrate on this day with us. So thank you. My name's Randy Lopez. I'm school board president, and I just want to say thank you and welcome for being here with us. You know, we miss having our kids in this building right now, and we wish we could see them all in the building inside running around or sitting in their classrooms learning, actually, right? But we'll continue to do our part so that we can be back in session, in person, having our students and teachers in this building. And if you haven't heard, I'm excited to announce that the Kansas City, Kansas public school students will return back to in-person learning in January of 2021. Many of our students and parents are excited to have their children back into in-person instruction. And while we continue to understand that challenges exist for all of us, our staff continue to work diligently to provide multiple approaches to meet the needs and safety of our staff and students. Thank you to the board, to Dr. Miguel, and all of our staff for your thoughtfulness and support. West Park Elementary students will be able to experience their new school environment when they return to in-person instruction. Many have been waiting for months to be reunited with their awesome teachers and classmates. When you step into the building, you'll immediately notice the wide open hallways, the open individual spaces. It's a beautifully designed building that connects students and staff on multiple levels. The various colors will help distinguish different grade levels. The individual spaces gives this school its own and unique character. Truly, as it was mentioned, a state-of-the-art building that is in this community that our students and staff and community deserve. Now, I want to take a moment to thank the individuals and groups who helped contribute to the construction of West Park and 4 other new schools, and all of the facility upgrades and security enhancements in the 47 buildings across the district. I want to thank HTK Architects, Inc. for all the consulting, design, and engineering work, including consultants PKMR as the MEP engineers and MKEC as the civil engineers, who are present with us today. Hollis and Miller Architects and their design consultant teams, Smith and Butcher and MKEC engineers for their work with our middle and high school renovations and upgrades, and for J.E. Dunn Construction for their construction management expertise. A debt of gratitude certainly applies to former Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Cindy Lane, and to Dr. Kelly Mather, who played an integral role in the bond work to the schools completed. Both the former and present board members for their sound financial management of our district's resources, which raises the quality of schooling that all Kansas City, Kansas public school students deserve. And most importantly, as has been noted, the voters and citizens of Kansas City, Kansas, who approved the $235 million bond referendum in 2016. I also want to thank Lenora Miller, Doug Clements, Kurt Wagner, and the operations team for helping manage this entire process on the district's behalf. Most importantly, a great deal of gratitude to all of our custodial staff who continue to keep our buildings clean, school campuses clean and safe, and especially during this times due to the health pandemic. I want to thank the school board, past and present, for your sound financial prudence of approving the refinancing of $150 million of the district's $235 million general obligation bonds, which saved the district more than $30 million. And to our state representatives, I want to acknowledge all of you for representing our community and advocating for our local public schools. To all of our local representatives, thank you so much for being here, for supporting our students, staff, and community. And lastly, I want to thank our community visioning team that included members of our community who helped to ensure that the message was clear and that there was community voice within the process. These are just a few examples of the collaboration, resilience, and fortitude that I mentioned earlier, which are at the root of the core values as a hardworking blue-collar community that we are. The residents' passion for this school district and investment into our future will inspire generations to come. Now, we all know the year 2020 has undoubtedly been a unique and interesting year for us all. But together we've shown that with our resilience, we can overcome any obstacles put in our way. It hasn't been easy, and there's still a long way to go. But I'm so glad to have all of you and this community to work together, committed to invest in our future. And that's why we're here today. So as you take a tour through this school, you'll see how this school will help stimulate the kids' desire to come to school, and the teachers will feel excited to work in the building that inspires teaching and learning. This school and many others that we are building and improving will help improve the education and build a foundation of success and excellence for generations to come. Lastly, as I close, I want to acknowledge why I'm wearing this t-shirt today. Today we honor Unity Day, where we wear orange as a sign of solidarity against bullying and as a promise to treat others with kindness. This morning we share a message of hope and support to all of our students and staff, and we can't wait to see you again. So thank you for joining us this morning. We can't wait to get you inside to take a tour.
Good morning, and I'm going to be super quick because it's raining and it's very cold, and the advantage of going last, almost everything has been said. But I do want to acknowledge the most important people for whom this school was built, our students who are not here today. We know they are coming back in January. That was a very hard decision that the board made, and we thank them for that. We follow the science, they follow the science. It wasn't popular or easy, but it had to be made. So our kids will return in January, and by then we will be ready to receive them. We have to commit as a community, though, to do everything we have to do so kids can actually come back in January, and that means wearing masks, keeping social distance among each other, so that in January, when we're ready to receive them, the numbers are where they need to be. I want to highlight the environment that Dr. Boring described. We want that for our kids. We know that that's what they are going to find in this building. We know the reputation that Dr. Wright has for student achievement. We know what she expects from kids, from her staff. And so we know that it's not just a beautiful building. The experiences they will have in there are going to be beautiful and productive, and they will become better people for having gone through West Park. I do remember a couple of years ago when we started the transition to West Park and bringing together students from Parker and William Allen White. And I do remember the hard time that Dr. Wright had when she had to tell some families that because we started to merge the two schools, there wasn't enough space for everyone who wanted to come to William Allen White. And she was shedding tears because she had to turn some kids away. And we know that that was happening because every time one child goes through those doors, they become Dr. Wright's kids, and she expects nothing but the best. She has the data to show that she expects nothing but the best. And every child who goes through her school, they grow, they become achievers, they excel. So we cannot wait until kids get in here and they can experience what you have to offer, Dr. Wright. Thank you so much for that. We have, yes. And years of data show how she has lived that, the high expectations and how she lives it in herself. She's relentless. She does not give up on any child. She does not give up on teachers. And that's why it's so nice to see teachers and former teachers here. And the last thing I want to say is we need to remember that this doesn't happen overnight. This was the very hard work of a lot of people. It brought collaboration. I'm so happy to see Dr. Cindy Lane with us here today. I was hoping Dr. Mather would be here because they worked so hard to make this happen. It didn't happen overnight, and we needed the collaboration and the engagement of the school board, of the community, of staff, of everyone who was able to help with this project. That same collaboration is what I'm going to ask you as we prepare for kids to come back in January, that we do everything we have to do. When the adults do what we need to do, then the kids will be able to come to school. So I want to thank Dr. Wright, Dr. Hunter Boyce, the Vice Principal, for putting together this ceremony. Mr. Edwin Birch, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you so much for getting everyone here. our guest speakers, and everyone who made time today on this cold morning to come to celebrate. And I cannot wait for us to get in this building and take part of this tour. So I know you have some protocols, Dr. Wright, that you're going to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Miguel. Thank you for your kind words. Just a little bit about me. I'm very passionate about the students, my staff, parents, and the community. I like what our mayor said because my thinking aligns right with his. I always tell my teachers that if the school fail, we're failing the community, and we don't want our community to fail. So I am happy to have a wonderful staff. You can see they're over here. If my staff can please raise your hand, they're back here. I have a wonderful staff who works very hard. So I can't do this work alone, but collectively, they all work hard to make it happen. And let me just say how it's not just William Allen White and Parker. Because of the boundary changes and the overcapacity at New Chelsea, we were able to get 150 plus of New Chelsea students, and we brought along 7 of their amazing teachers. So we had a song created just for our school, and it's called Better Together. We feel we're better together because we come from 3 different communities: Parker community, William Allen White community, and New Chelsea community. But when we come together, we're better together. Because our schools merge together, we all feel that we bring unique strengths and talents that make us who we are today. So we're gonna play the song before we do the ribbon cutting, and I really want you to listen to the song and the words, because those words really it supports what we believe in our students, and we try to encourage our students to be their very best. That song was written by a young gentleman named Ryan Anderson, who he is an artist from Very True Records, and so hopefully you will enjoy the song. But in closing, I want to say, although that our students are currently learning remote, it is important that we all provide social and emotional support that they need to remain encouraged and focused during moments of isolation from their friends and school community. Our students, parents, teachers, and schools need your support more than ever before these challenging times. We don't have all the answers, but our collective support and unwavering commitment to public education will help us overcome many of the challenges we are faced with today. So in closing, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lane. I really appreciate you. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you, Dr. Nevels. And to all of you who had part of the building of the schools in our district and just had part where, although you've moved on, you still come back, you support our schools, support our community, and support our staff. So I appreciate that. I would like to also thank HTK Architects and the team for providing the handouts and the images that you see of the display of the building. Also to Kansas City, Kansas Public School Police Departments for their assistance, and each and every one of you for your support for our school district. The staff at West Park Elementary looks for the future with confidence, knowing that our kids are going to be okay. Once we get them in the building, we're going to do what we do, and that is making sure that excellence is required from all of us day in and day out.
Okay, yeah. West Park, yeah. Better together, we got this. Better together, oh yeah, together, we got this. Better together, yeah, together. Yeah. Oh my, you ready? Oh, yeah, on a bus taste, yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
New start, you already know. Green light, it's a go. Yeah, hit my move on 'em. Hit that school on 'em. I know I'm cool on 'em. Panthers rule on 'em. Yeah, yeah.